The text came at 2:17 a.m. A jagged shard of words slicing through the quiet of my Brooklyn apartment. Elliot, I messed up. I need to see you. My phone glowed like a traitor on my nightstand, and my heart, damn it, lurched at the name, Julian. After 6 months of silence, after he'd walked away for a serious relationship with someone better suited for his polished Manhattan life, here he was, clawing back into mine. I was 28, a graphic designer scraping by in a cramped studio. My life a mosaic of late-night coffee runs and half-finished sketches. Julian, 30, was a corporate lawyer. All sharp suits and sharper ambition. The kind of guy who could charm a room, but leave you feeling like you'd never quite measure up. We'd met at a dive bar in the East Village 2 years ago, his easy laugh cutting through the noise. My clumsy spill of a drink sparking our first conversation. For a year, we were electric late-night walks across the Brooklyn Bridge. Stolen kisses in the rain. Promises whispered in the dark. But last spring, he sat me down in a sterile midtown cafe and said he needed stability. Someone who fit his world. That someone was Marcus. A 35-year-old finance bro with a penthouse and a handshake that screamed old money. I wasn't enough. I was too chaotic. Too artsy. Too me. Now, his text burned in my hand. I didn't respond. Instead, I tossed the phone aside and stared at the ceiling, replaying the last 6 months. I'd rebuilt myself, piece by jagged piece. New clients, new gym routine, new confidence. And then there was Sam, 32, the effortlessly cool bookstore owner I'd met at a queer poetry slam in Williamsburg. Sam wasn't my boyfriend, not really. It was a ruse, a playful act to keep Julian's lingering shadow at bay. We'd agreed to fake it at a mutual friend's gallery opening last month, knowing Julian would be there, his arm draped around Marcus. Sam had leaned in close, whispering jokes about the pretentious art, his hand brushing mine just enough to sell the lie. Julian's eyes had followed us all night, sharp and unreadable. It felt like victory. But now, this text. Desperate. The word didn't fit Julian. Not the man who'd always been so sure. So in control. I rolled out of bed, the hardwood cold against my feet, and poured a glass of water I didn't drink. Why now? Why after he'd chosen Marcus? After he'd made it clear I was a chapter he'd closed. The city hummed outside my window. Restless. Like me. The next morning, I met Sam at his bookstore. Pages and Pride. A cozy haven tucked between a deli and a laundromat. The air smelled of old paper and coffee. Shelves stuffed with queer literature and dog-eared classics. Sam, in a navy sweater and glasses perched on his nose, looked up from stacking books. "You look like hell," he said, smirking. Julian texted. I admitted, slumping into a chair. Sam raised an eyebrow, his sharp features softening. He was older than me, steadier, with a quiet intensity that made you want to spill your secrets. He'd grown up in Harlem, raised by a single mom, and built this place from nothing. No trust fund, no safety net, just grit and a love for stories. What did he say? Sam asked, leaning against the counter. He messed up. Wants to see me. I handed him my phone, letting him read the text. His lips twitched. Not quite a smile. Sounds like our little performance at the gallery worked too well, he said. Jealousy's a hell of a drug. I laughed, but it felt hollow. What do I do? Sam. Ignore him. Meet him. I'm not over him. Not completely. Sam crossed his arms, studying me. You don't owe him anything, Elliot. But if you want answers, meet him. Just don't go alone. I'll come with you. Keep up the act. His voice was steady, but his eyes held something softer, something I couldn't quite name. We agreed to meet Julian at a neutral Spoda quiet diner on the Lower East Side. I wore my favorite denim jacket, the one Julian used to tease me about, and Sam threw on a scarf that made him look like he'd stepped out of a magazine. When we walked in, Julian was already there, seated in a corner booth, his tie loosened, his dark hair mussed. He looked off. Not the polished lawyer I knew, but a man fraying at the edges. "Elliot," he said, standing as we approached. His eyes flicked to Sam, narrowing. "And Sam, right?" Sam nodded, sliding into the booth beside me, his arm brushing Minea, subtle reminder of our charade. "Good to see you, Julian," he said, voice smooth as whiskey. Julian sat, his fingers tapping the table. "I didn't expect you to bring company," he said to me, his tone clipped. "You didn't give me much warning." I shot back, keeping my voice even. "What's this about?" He exhaled, running a hand through his hair. "I ended things with Marcus. It wasn't what I thought. I saw you two at the gallery." He stopped, his jaw tightening. "I couldn't stop thinking about you. Elliot, I made a mistake." My chest tightened, a mix of anger and something dangerously close to hope. Sam's hand rested lightly on my knee under the table, grounding me. "You left me, Julian," I said, my voice low. "You said I wasn't enough. And now, what? You're jealous because I moved on." Julian flinched, his eyes darting to Sam. "Moved on. With him." There was an edge to his voice, sharp and raw. "You two barely know each other." Sam chuckled, leaning back. "We know each other well enough." His tone was light, but his eyes were steel. The lie was seamless, and for a moment, I almost believed it myself. Julian's gaze locked on me, pleading. "Elliot, I know I hurt you, but I'm here now. I want to fix this." I wanted to scream, to throw his words back in his face. But Sam's steady presence kept me anchored. "I need time," I said finally. "You don't get to just show up and expect me to run back." Julian nodded, his shoulders slumping. "I'll wait, however long it takes." As we left the diner, Sam's hand lingered on my back, and I felt the weight of Julian's eyes following us. The city pulsed around us, alive and chaotic, mirroring the storm in my chest. Sam didn't say much as we walked, but his quiet strength was enough. For now, the next week was a blur. Julian texted again, then called, leaving voicemails I couldn't bring myself to delete. Each one chipped away at the walls I'd built, his voice a ghost of the man I'd loved. Sam, meanwhile, was a constant checking in, dragging me to trivia nights, pretending to be my boyfriend with a wink and a grin. But the act was starting to blur. His touches lingered longer. His smiles felt less like a performance. I caught myself watching him, his hands flipping through books, his laugh when I teased him about his terrible taste in sci-fi. It scared me, how easy it felt. One night, at a rooftop bar in Dumbo, Julian showed up uninvited. I was mid-laugh, Sam's arm slung casually around my shoulders, when I saw him by the bar, staring. His suit was crisp, but his eyes were wild, like a man on the edge of something he couldn't control. "Elliot," he called, striding over. The crowd parted, sensing the tension. Sam stiffened beside me, his arm tightening. "Julian, what the hell?" I said, standing. "You can't just. I can't stop thinking about you." He cut in, his voice raw. "I see you with him, and it's killing me. I know I screwed up, but I love you. I never stopped." The words hit like a punch. Sam stood, his presence a quiet storm. "Maybe give him some space, man," he said, his voice low but firm. Julian's eyes flashed. "This doesn't concern you, Sam." "It does when you're upsetting him." Sam shot back, stepping closer. The air crackled, and I felt like I was watching a collision I couldn't stop. "Stop," I said, my voice cutting through. "Both of you." I turned to Julian, my heart pounding. "You don't get to do this. You left. You chose someone else. And now you're jealous because I'm happy." The lie about Sam stung, but I leaned into it, needing it to hold me together. Julian's face crumpled. I need you to know I'm sorry. I shook my head, grabbing Sam's hand. Let's go. We left Julian standing there, the city skyline glittering behind him, a backdrop to his unraveling. Weeks passed, and Julian's desperation grew. He showed up at my favorite coffee shop, my gym, even Paige's and Pride. Sam handled it with grace, playing the devoted boyfriend. But I could see the strain in his eyes. The act was wearing on us both, blurring lines we hadn't meant to cross. One night, alone in my apartment, I broke down. The weight of Julian's return, the fake relationship, the feelings I couldn't name, it was too much. Sam came over, bringing takeout and a bottle of wine. We sat on my couch, the city's hum a faint backdrop. You okay? He asked, his voice soft. No, I admitted, staring at my hands. I don't know what I feel anymore. Julian's messing with my head. And you? I trailed off, my throat tight. Sam set his glass down, his eyes searching mine. Me what? You're too good at this, I said, half laughing, half crying, pretending. It feels real. He was quiet for a long moment, then reached for my hand. Maybe it's not all pretend, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. My heart stopped. Before I could respond, he leaned in, his lips brushing Minea a question, not a demand. I kissed him back, and for the first time in months, the chaos in my chest stilled. It wasn't the electric fire of Julian, but something deeper, steadier, real. Julian didn't stop. His texts became frantic, his apologies laced with accusations. You're throwing away what we had for a fling, he wrote. I ignored him, focusing on Sam, on the quiet moments that were starting to mean everything. But Julian's persistence built to a breaking point. One evening, he cornered me outside my apartment, his eyes red-rimmed, his voice shaking. I know he's not your boyfriend, he said. I talked to Lena from the gallery. She said you two were faking it to mess with me. My stomach dropped. The truth was out, and it felt like the ground was crumbling. It started that way, I admitted, my voice steady despite the panic. But it's not fake anymore. Julian's face twisted anger, hurt, disbelief. You're choosing him. After everything we had. You chose Marcus, I said, my voice breaking. You left me. Julian. Sam was there when you weren't. He's real. He's here. Julian stepped back, his hands shaking. You'll regret this, he said, but his voice was hollow, defeated. Months later, Sam and I sat on that same park bench from the gallery night, the city alive around us. Julian had faded, his texts stopping, his presence a ghost I no longer feared. Sam's hand rested in mine, no longer a performance, but a promise. We weren't perfect. Chaos clashed with his calm. His stubbornness met my fire, but we were building something real, something worth fighting for. Regret it yet? Sam teased, nudging me. I laughed, leaning into him. Not a chance. The city stretched out before us, a canvas of light and shadow, and for the first time, I felt like I belonged not to Julian's world, or anyone else's, but to this moment, this man, this life. Love wasn't a straight line, I realized. It was messy, painful, beautiful, and it was ours.